Thank you very much. Greetings to all on the occasion of the second Shri Kulwant Singh Literature Festival at Bhavan Vidyalaya Panchkula. My greetings to all the dignitaries present here. Mrs. Amar Kulwant Singh, who is the force behind the festival and an inspiration to all of us. We have Mr. Rajan Kashyap, former Chief Secretary Punjab, Mr. A.N. Mathur and Mrs. Mathur. Mr. Mathur is former Chief Secretary Haryana. Just like Mr. Kulwant Singh, who was the Chief Secretary of Haryana as well. We have the Mayor of Panchkula and the Secretary of Bhavan Vidyalaya, Mr. Kulbhushan Goyal now. We have eminent speakers like Mr. N. Chandra, a warm welcome to you. We have the Deputy Commissioner of Panchkula, my young friend Mr. Sushil Sarwan. We also have speakers like Colonel D.S. Chima and Mrs. Lily Swarn. And if I've missed anyone, please forgive me. We have the person who's organizing the event along with a band of faculty and students. That's Dr. Gulshan Kaur. And thank you very much, ma'am, for putting this together. I think it's a great occasion for Panchkula in particular to host this literature festival. Firstly, Mr. Kulwant Singh. If I talk about him and if you saw the visuals, the one thing that struck me, and I've seen him from my childhood, if I can say so, I have seen him as when I was in school because my parents knew Mr. Kulwant Singh and Mrs. Kulwant Singh. What struck me was his confidence and calmness. So if I add these two C's to the four C's which were mentioned, confidence and calmness. And out of the two, I would place calmness above confidence. Because that calmness comes from within. And that expression of calmness often emanates in a personality like Mr. Kulwant Singh, who inspires so much just by virtue of being what he is. So these days we lack role models in numbers and even in quality in society. And role models are not those who speak a lot. Unfortunately, as a motivational speaker, I have to speak a lot. But those who are role models. And the students of today, the children of today, and my address is primarily for them, with reverence to the dignitaries as well. It is not what we say to these youngsters that matters. It is what we are from within that actually they follow. So if we give them the wrong example, then they will follow the wrong examples. And they are intelligent. But obviously, they will follow those who they look up to. And if we give them the right attitude, the right bent of mind, inspiration, character, compassion, and creativity, then they will imbibe those values. Creativity was the first quality mentioned in the four C's that were showcased in Mr. Kulwant Singh's presentation on him. I think creativity is the key word of today in this festival as well. Because those who think differently are the ones who will make changes. They will bring innovation in society. It is very easy to do a routine job. It's not very easy, but it is a routine job. And being a routine job person is not bad. There's a lot of credit to the railway gate man who opens the gate or closes the gate when the train is about to pass twice a day. 4:36 p.m. and 9:35 p.m. Twice a day the man has to close the gate and open the gate. It's his job. He cannot be a second late, even though the train may be a few seconds late. But the man has to be alert and on the ball. Yet it is a routine job. He can't be creative and say, okay, today I'll open it at 10:30. You can't change the numbers and the timings. A chartered accountant, financial advisor, somebody who's into accounts, cannot say that today let me make this 6.3%, I'll make it 8.3%, just for fun. Can't be done. But if you're into writing, music, art, sports, lots of other things, cooking, sports especially, gives a lot of scope and opportunity for creativity. But today I'll restrict myself more to writing I had about 15 minutes and I guess I've used about 5 of them already. Permit me if I go 1 or 2 minutes extra. I'm talking of the art of inspired writing, and that's my topic. As a keynote speaker for a literary festival, I can think of no better topic. Creative writing, inspired writing is something which gives us happiness. It gives us therapy. Writing is therapy. Today's youngsters talk openly about therapy. There are books, we were at a book launch recently of Preeti Shenoy, who's a top author, and she has a therapist in the novel. One whom many of the youngsters who are lead characters in the book, they go and see the therapist. Therapy is something which the generation of today needs because of overthinking, over badgering of information into their minds. There was a time when people would go to weddings for a week and they would go in the Belgadi or the Tonga or the whatever, Ghoda Gadi or whatever it was long ago. They would not come back obviously for a week and they would not be in touch with their families. Somebody went to Canada, we didn't know what he's doing for 6 months. Letters would come, reach 1 month later. There was no tizzy. There was no worry. Even today, and my wife is from Himachal, so I take the liberty. In Himachal Pradesh, you'll find people sitting in the sun for hours without looking at their phones. And there's a WhatsApp message today which says, I saw this guy at Starbucks. He had no mobile, no iPad. He wasn't talking to anyone. He wasn't, talking to himself either. He was just drinking coffee. What an abnormal guy. So we are in an era, we are almost meant to be thinking all the time. And in this time of overthinking, we need therapy. No better therapy than writing. You know of journaling, many of you. Bhavan Vidyalaya Panchkula is an institution of excellence. I have seen and heard these students many a time. I know many of them are writers, many of you are writers. And I know that many of you are into journaling, which helps you to, let's say, lighten your burdens of your mind. It's a good idea. Even if you're feeling low, you write about it. If you're feeling good, you write about it. And sometimes we think we have to write only for others, but we write for ourselves. That's the best kind of writing. You ask any top author of the world, who is he or she writing for? I think they're writing for the love of writing. They're writing because their heart wants to write. They're not writing to impress. Very few writers who are successful are writing to impress. Because if you're deliberately trying to impress anyone, and that's also a hint to the teenagers, if you're deliberately trying to impress anyone, they won't be impressed. Yes? Are you with me, all of you? Please raise your hands once. All of you, please raise your hand. I mean, not the front row, please. Thank you. Good. You're with me. Because I noticed you looking here and there, now you're with me. So if you're trying to impress someone, I was saying, which is of interest to you, if you try too hard, it doesn't work. If you're just trying to be yourself, it works. So if you're writing for yourself, for the joy of writing, you will do better. Because your heart and soul is into it, you will do better. This is not a marketing stunt. We're not trying to make commerce out of it. Very few writers in India are actually saleable, are actually making a living out of writing. Only maybe the top 6 or 7 authors of India are actually making money, so to say, out of writing. Most of us are doing it for the love of it. And if you're doing it for the love of it, then you'll actually enjoy it more. It is similar to posting something on social media and then waiting for the likes to pile up. You post it for the joy of posting because you enjoyed the post. You want to share it. I like to post wordy ones, word play, which are playing with words. And just to bring out the art of writing short posts, we're talking about art of inspired writing. I love this one. I'll share a couple of them with you actually. The people who have created these, they deserve accolades. The first one I want to share is, ma'am, if you'll calm down over here, possible? Just be a little calm if you enter. The first one is, my teacher told me not to worry about spellings. Autocorrect would take care of the rest. And to her, I'm eternally grapefruit. To her, I'm eternally grapefruit. That's autocorrect. Autocorrect is not going to learn your spellings. And there's another one which is a bit of a dig at Bollywood also. Mr. Chandra will forgive me, but not the person who's sitting here. It says, don't open a message which says Christmas carols by Himesh Reshammiya, because they are actually Christmas carols by Himesh Reshammiya. So please don't open it. The point being, even the writer of these little ones is a creative fellow. Somebody who has a lot of time, obviously, to think. And you also know that when India crashes out of the World Cup, unfortunately, or when something political happens, or when something in public happens which is noteworthy, we have the memes flowing within seconds. Who's writing that? Who's the chap? Which is that joke factory? There's actually a future for some of you there. It's a revenue earning machine. But coming back to inspired writing of the kind that we are talking about, I would say each of us has a book in us. Each of us. Those of you who haven't written a book yet should either be too young or should have written a book by now. So please write a book. And those who are even 15 or 16 or 17 or 18, I think people younger than you have also written books, some of them. So please take inspiration from them. And the only way to write books is to start writing small, short pieces. 500 words. Authors and writers, they think in terms of words, not pages. A novel is 50,000 words. Could be 75,000. Leo Tolstoy, don't ask me how many thousand words. But we are not becoming Leo Tolstoy in this era. Nobody's going to read it. We have to write a novella. A novella is something which is good enough. It could be 30,000 words. 30,000 words is not many words. In terms of writing, it could take you 2 months or 4 months, depending on how much you write per day. Someone like Ramchandra Guha or even Preeti Shenoy, who was speaking that day, will write from 9:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. every day. Now, life gives him or her the liberty to do that. Most of us have to go to office and work. But if that is their work, and if they have a regimen or a regularity, then why not? But coming to the crux of my talk, the art of inspired writing means we have to be inspired human beings in the first place. What inspires us? Something has to inspire us. It could be someone who is poor but brave, someone who's studying under the streetlight and making it to the top competitions of the country, someone who is physically disabled but is conquering mountains like Arunima Sinha, who's an author. She conquered Mount Everest on artificial limbs. Somebody has to inspire us. We can't be going through life in routine. Life is not about numbers. Life is not about money or power or fame, even fame. It's not. Life is about love and light and happiness and empathy and compassion and creativity and happy thoughts. So if we are living a life which is meaningful, which is seeking inspiration from society, from animals, from nature, from people, from the elderly, from the young ones, from the babies, then we can not only write, we can live in an inspired way. Nobody told the school to organize literary festivals. Board exams and other things are more important for academic institutions. But this is inspiration. If this is not inspiration, then what is inspiration? You listen to music, You listen to Yanni, big composer. And you listen to, even this really sets me very, gets me excited. There's an old time film known as The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, which many of us know. And the Danish orchestra has played that tune recently, and that video is very viral. I mean, you listen to that for 2.5 minutes, that's it. You see the Japanese composer who became 90 years old, and he was invited to the concert by the main composer, and he was asked to lead the orchestra for 2 minutes, and the Japanese composer had lost his memory, but he did not forget the tune. He couldn't remember people. But once he came on stage, he's leading the orchestra. He remembers. So inspiration can come from anywhere. And for a writer, without inspiration, you cannot write. So you have to find that inspiration. I met Ruskin Bond once in his house in Missouri. I was lucky to meet him. I met him twice actually. And when I went to his house with my family, he was saying, oh, I've had a tough day, but I managed to write a few lines in the morning. And 1 hour later, when we were about to leave, he said, the day I don't write, I'm very grumpy. And today I haven't written anything. He forgot that he had told us that he'd written a couple of lines. I said, Mr. Bond, you told us that you wrote a couple of lines. He said, yeah, even if I write one line, my mood is elevated. Even one line. And a day without even one line is for him a dry, drab, dull day. So we have to really seek inspiration from Mr. Bond. Either Ruskin Bond or James Bond, it's up to you. In any case, the name is Bond. So we have to also seek inspiration lastly from someone like Field Marshal Sam Manekshaw. Those of you who've seen Sam Bahadur, please raise your hands. Sorry, I'm keynote speaker, I'm not supposed to ask people to raise hands. Very few. Please tell your parents, or even without your parents, go and watch it. I am not an ambassador for that movie. But inspiration has to come from somewhere. You're not getting it from Animal with Ranbir Kapoor. जिस चीज पे तालियां पड़नी चाहिए थी उस पे तो बजी नहीं. देखो, I am a motivational speaker. Somewhere I have to connect with the youth. Now I managed. The thing is, watch Sam Bahadur not for Vicky Kaushal. He's great. Watch it for Sam. And Sam Bahadur is someone who inspired generations. We have Colonel Chima here, who served the army, is now, I won't say how old he is, but he's pretty old. And we have Sam Manekshaw, who was senior to him. And he looked up to someone like that. So we have no business not to look up to someone like that. I've come to the end of my speech, and all I'd like to say is that this is creativity at its best. We're going to hear good speakers, writers, people who have made a mark in life during this festival. We have the presence of inspiring personalities. Your school is doing its utmost to give that inspiration to you. The opportunity to be inspired. You live in a city like Panchkula or Chandigarh. We have no reason to be Rondu types. Dukhi Atma nahi hona hai. Be thankful for what you have. Be grateful for what you have. And be inspired. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.